Hello, my name is Elizabeth Yepez. I'm 27 years old and invite you to watch my story. I'm the oldest of three. I have a brother who is 5 years younger and a sister who is 10 years younger. My journey to be where I am today started 21 years ago when my family migrated to the United States from Michoacan, Mexico, when I was just 6 years old. For many Latino families like my own, my parents had the American dream to provide a better future for our family, and that is why they decided to move to America. I witnessed my family adapt and learn to an entirely new culture, very different from our own. My family and I couldn't understand the language due to being monolingual Spanish speakers. Although my family and I had to learn a new culture, my parents continued to instill in us their values and traditions, such as attending church every Sunday, making tamales on Christmas Eve, hard work, respect, perseverance, and the importance of supporting one another as a family and sticking together. As a child, I watched my parents struggle to provide for our family. I remember my parents working long hours in the fields during hot days and very harsh working conditions, and being paid low wages. Due to their struggles, my parents would always repeat over and over, "Get an education so you can get a good job and don't have to work like us." Coming from a low-income agriculture working family at a young age, I learned the importance of hard work and not giving up. One of the most challenging obstacles I had to overcome was the language and cultural barriers that became prevalent in my early years of education. My inability to speak English made it difficult for me to feel connected to my classroom and most of my classmates. I remember feeling so lost because I could not understand anything anyone was saying, and majority of my class only spoke English. I would go home feeling sick to my stomach, and I was so scared to go to school. All I wanted was to go back to Mexico to my friends and teacher. Well, little did I know, this was just the beginning of my educational journey. Fast forward, I was in 4th grade, and I was still learning English. I was made fun of a lot because I had an accent when I read, and I was reading at a 1st and 2nd grade level in 4th grade. I remember my classmates laughing when I struggled to pronounce something or pronounced it wrong. The negative experience pushed me to read more and more. My parents were always working, so I knew it would be up to me to push myself to learn how to read and speak English. They never checked my homework or went to any of my school events. It wasn't that they didn't care, it was the fact that they were learning the culture and how things worked here in America. After a couple years, I was what my school called reclassified from English learner to English proficient. I remember feeling very excited and for the first time proud of myself. During this time of my life, I was also stuck between two cultures and feeling like I did not belong to either. At home, I was expected to speak Spanish and was not allowed to speak English because my parents did not understand what I was saying. And at school, I was expected to speak English. I was so confused about my cultural identity because I was trying to figure out how to fit both cultures into my new life. Well, I made it through middle school and then to senior year of high school. At the beginning of my senior year in high school, college was not on my mind. All my parents asked of me was to graduate from high school, and that is all I thought I needed to achieve. I thought since we were so poor, college was not even an option for me, due to there being no way my parents could possibly help me pay for school. However, due to my high grades, my academic counselor encouraged me to apply for college and financial aid. I felt lost once again because no one in my family had gone to college, and my parents couldn't help me with the process. I even had to ask for permission to go to college because my parents were so strict and they never imagined I would be able to attend a university. Although my parents couldn't help me financially and were not sure about me going to college at first, they provided me with love, support, showed me the importance of great work ethic, and they reminded me to trust God. Although my parents wouldn't tell me out loud they were proud of me, somehow I knew that inside they were proud of me because I was going to be the first one to graduate from high school and attend a university. See, all the education my parents got was up to elementary school. So graduating from high school was all they thought I needed. I then started my college journey at Stanislaus State University near my hometown, which was convenient because I could commute. Being the first one in my family to attend college, moving away was not an option. I didn't even ask. I remember feeling many different types of emotions because I continued to think of that 6-year-old girl in second grade not being able to say or understand one word in English, and now she would be attending a university. Once again, it was not an easy process. I turned in my first college paper, and when I received it back, I had a big fat F on it with the following statement. I had to stop reading after the second page due to your grammar being so bad. Maybe you need to rethink college. I remember not going to my next class that day and going home thinking to myself, he's right. College is not for me. I'm so dumb to think someone like me could graduate from a university. And at that time, I was sure I was not going back. When I got home, my parents reminded me how hard I had worked to be where I was. And they reminded me of our faith. I realized I just needed to continue to work hard and not give up. Well, I graduated with my bachelor's and then my master's in social work. And for the first time, my parents said they were proud of me out loud. I even wrote an 100-page thesis, which I never imagined I could do. My thesis helped me remind myself that hard work and not giving up can result in beautiful things. I was even nominated to be one of the hooding ceremony speakers for my cohort. During this time, I also became a U.S. citizen along with my brother. And although I was still struggling to identify my cultural identity, I am thankful for my roots, but I am also thankful for the opportunities I've been able to have here in America. I am currently in the mental health field, working as a registered associate clinical social worker in the school setting. Through my own experience, I've found that I am most passionate about working in the school setting and teaching students coping skills they need to be successful in their academic, social, emotional, and career development. I am also passionate about educating families about the importance of mental health and breaking the stigma. Many families have a hard time asking for help due to this stigma. Through my own experience and education, I have learned that it is crucial for students to be able to ask for mental health help if needed, in order to be able to focus in school. Coming from a first-generation Latino family, I had to be the first to navigate the higher education system and accomplish things I thought a minority female like me would never be able to accomplish. I have a lot of drive to create and build a healthy school environment for all students where they feel safe to learn and grow. Thank you for listening to my story. I know that together as a social work community, we can make the difference one step at a time. I'm thankful for the opportunities life has given me.